I was walking by the set and I saw this crate, and that's when Bell told me that Origin sponsored this video so I could unbox the Arachnid, or rather uncrate. There are computers in here, but we've got some eat, sleep, game, repeat. This is probably just a bunch of accessories for our computer. Ugh. For anyone who's afraid of spiders, you might want to avert your gaze, because it's the Arachnid. That's... Wow! Not just one reservoir, but two, because our CPU and GPU are both on their own loops with a 360mm rad for each. I'd prefer 420, but that's, you know, it's okay. They're still pretty performant. It's pretty big, and it is going to take up some of the room on your desk, if that wasn't pretty obvious, but it's kind of a statement piece. However, it is about 21.5 inches long, 27 inches high, and 16 inches wide. And without any parts or water, it's 27, well, I'm pretty sure. Ours is a lot heavier now that it's filled with water and has an RTX 5090 as well as a Ryzen 9 9950X 3D, both of which are actually really gonna need their own separate loops because they run hot. And on top of that, this thing's using like an HX 1200 power supply from Corsair. It's also got some really nice RAM, 96 gigs at 6,000 megatransfers per second, and it's all on a nice Asus X870E crosshair motherboard. So while this entire thing is very expensive, we'll get to the price later, a lot of that is just straight up going to parts. It's about as high-end as you can get, at least in terms of like a gaming PC. And with an expensive motherboard, you do get a ton of really good I/O. We've got a couple of USB-C ports, and then a bunch of USB-A ports, 5 gig and 2.5 gig LAN, along with Wi-Fi 7. And on the front, we've got a headphone jack, USB-C, and a couple of USB-A ports. In terms of construction quality, it's actually pretty solid. We're using a bunch of Corsair parts with 14mm tubes, a bunch of right angle connectors, and a nice iCUE block on our CPU. I do have one kind of minor complaint. I do wish these tubes were like a little more flat. It would take a little more work. They'd have to extend these guys out more then, add a longer pipe fitting here so that this comes out straighter and then this can come out more or something. I'm not entirely sure how to fix it, but it's just these little minor details that I would love just a tiny bit more attention to detail there, especially when you're paying a lot of money. We'll get to the price later, but it is expensive, and a big part of that is paying for the custom tubing. While our unit looks the way it does, Origin is allegedly refining the design with 2 key improvements that should result in a much cleaner build. Some fittings will be replaced with additional hard tube bends, and they're introducing an acrylic pass-through block to eliminate side-to-side movement between the system's 2 sections. My only other minor complaint is I really wish this giant mesh, while great, I wish it had a little screen filter in here somewhere so I could just like slide a filter out to fix any dust that's going to inevitably end up in here. I don't want to take apart all these bolts and have to get in there somehow. And what does it look like when I turn it on? Ooh, I like how the reservoirs at the front just kind of look like big eyes. And because it's Origin PC, it comes with a warranty. On their website, they've got a 1-year parts warranty with a lifetime customer service warranty, which is nice if you don't want to fix this yourself. And as for the 2 accessory boxes I forgot about, we've got all of the cables for our power supply, which is fantastic. It looks like we've also got all of our motherboard stuff, like our extra cables, like SATA cables and whatnot. I actually don't even see where you'd plug these in, because this thing, like, that's something I actually didn't even comment on, was I cannot see any cables anywhere except for like power cable, graphics card cable. They've done a really good job of hiding everything with this like just case. But you know I can't wait to plug a display into this thing and game on it, so let's go. Okay, we've got it fired up and we're gonna play some Cyberpunk, but one problem with our unit specifically, and this is why having a warranty is good, you're probably gonna notice that ours has some, unfortunately, exceptionally bad coil whine. Now, Origin did get back to us, and they're expanding their use of acoustic screening on the Arachnid to help mitigate the noise. However, that won't impact performance or anything, and you know, you can always just throw on some headphones. That actually did work really well. I can't hear anything anymore. But of course, you shouldn't have to put on headphones just to kind of ignore some coil whine. It stinks regardless, and yeah, if you do get a unit like this, feel free to reach out to Origin PC. Fortunately, that doesn't detract from the performance, and while we do have a 9950X 3D, I just want to take a quick moment to say that you can get this in Intel with a Core Ultra 9 if you wanted to. I don't want to because AMD's crushing it when it comes to gaming right now. Yeah, playing Cyberpunk, it's a fantastic experience. It's a 5090 and a 9950 X3D. That's basically as high end as you can possibly get, especially with like 96 gigs of RAM. I'm gonna just roll some numbers on screen here for you, but thanks to our testing, I can safely say that this is essentially the best 5090 we've tested. Because yeah, it's water blocked, so it's just gonna hit those boost clocks and stay there. And it was kind of the same story with our 9950 X3D. Yes, it is getting hot, 100%, but it's maintaining our clock speeds while doing so. And considering it's only a 360mm rad, I think it's doing a really good job. And then if you want to see what our temps are like when it's not under extreme loads, like just a normal gaming load, it's totally fine. Obviously, it's gonna have iCUE installed, but we've also got a few other random little tidbits like some wallpapers and whatnot. So if you want a perfectly clean install, it's not quite that, but it's really close, and they've got essentially no real bloatware on this thing. On top of that, you know, with iCUE, you're able to do pretty much whatever you want. Like, I'm not personally an iCUE guy because I don't go and tinker with a ton of stuff, but I have seen some absolutely wild RGB creations using this software, because you just have so much control that you can do whatever you want to do. And we've got basically everything showing up here. iCUE Link, our other iCUE Link, XD5 Elite, the Arachnid. I love how it's got its own custom thing here. All our fans, iCUE Link System Hub, and then the Elite LCD screen. Even our power supply is detected, but not our graphics card. And Origin, it's my one and only complaint. I get that you probably only got so many 5090s, but I really wish that you'd been able to get some that were addressable with iCUE. Instead, you've got to grab Gigabyte software and then match the graphics card to the rest of the system on your own. But, I mean, you know, it's one of the more covered up parts, so that's okay. It's a pretty sick package that actually performs, but what about the price? Well, it's very expensive, at least for the one that we spec'd out. It's $9,300. However, I mean, look at the price of a 5090, look at a 9950 X3D, and then you add in the motherboard that we've got, because it's a pretty top-end motherboard, 96 gigs of RAM, and then all of the hardware for the custom liquid cooling. That's gonna set you back a ton of money, even if you tried to do this all yourself. We looked up a few reviews for these things before we shot the video, and everyone seems super happy, at least so far. So I don't think that you're gonna get steered wrong if this is what you're after. They've also got like a cool custom UV faceplate as well. We've just got the black one, which I'm disappointed. Origin sent us the cool UV print thing. It looks awesome. They look really cool on the website. You can spec yours differently on the website to get a lower price than that. And I don't know, maybe they'll eventually just sell the case in the future. I kind of wish they would. I think it's a super cool idea and it's a very striking design. Like, this thing just looks sick. I don't know how else to put it. It looks super cool, and my only wish right now is to change all of the RGB and whatnot to make it blue, which I can do. It's in the power of my hands. And one other minor complaint we've got is that our RGB controller runs a little too hot. We've reached out to Origin and Corsair about that. Hopefully they get back to us by the time the video goes up. I don't know what the solution is. Move it, maybe? Not 100% sure, but we did notice it. Could just be our unit, but we gotta let you know. Thanks again to Origin for sponsoring this video. If you like Short Circuit, keep watching Short Circuits and just, you know, watch more of them. This is the Arachnid. It's pretty sick. I wish I could take it home with me.